soon as it happens. We'll also have updates on our website and on our free news app, both on the conclusion of the trial and reaction to the jury's decision. A Cook County judge has unsealed documents in the conspiracy case against 3 officers involved in the Laquan McDonald case. One filing says the state has evidence the defendants conspired to conceal the true facts of the events surrounding McDonald's death. It also alleges that Officer Thomas Gaffney, former Detective David March, and former Officer Joseph Walsh submitted virtually identical false information. All 3 have pleaded not guilty.
4:34 this morning, Chicago police are on the lookout for 3 men who tried to kidnap a 16-year-old girl. A man grabbed her at 111th and Troop on Wednesday. Another man tossed her into a parked car, and a third accomplice was already inside holding a gun. The girl managed to get out and run to safety. The men are thought to be in their 20s. One had a cast on his knee. Another had an arm sleeve tattoo.
Remains discovered at a campsite in Hobart are those of a woman from Crown Point, 40-year-old Marisa Gonzalez. A survey crew working near 83rd and Grand came across a skull on Wednesday, and police found bones nearby. Right now, we still don't know a cause of death.
There is a reward this morning to catch the Rogers Park killer. The Jewish United Fund is putting up $10,000 for information to find the person who killed 2 people. Here's another look at that suspect seen walking just before the first shooting on Sunday and then running in an alley afterward. Police believe he lives in that area. They also want to stress the fact that the suspect tends to walk with his feet pointed outward. The 2 victims, Douglas Watts and Eliyahu Moskowitz, didn't know each other. Their killings happened just 36 hours apart from each other and a few blocks apart as well. Neighbors there are afraid.
Know your neighbor, know your surroundings, and look out for each other.
Chicago police say 40 detectives are on this case, and the FBI and ATF are now involved. They've had 105 leads from the community, but nothing so far that has led them to that suspect.
The Senate is taking a crucial vote today to advance Brett Kavanaugh's nomination to the Supreme Court. Key GOP senators are still undecided, and Democrats are calling the FBI investigation a sham. This morning, Kavanaugh has written a piece in the Wall Street Journal. ABC's Emily Rao has the latest from Washington.
The statements.
After a week of silence following that explosive testimony,
This is a circus.
Judge Brett Kavanaugh now defending himself in the Wall Street Journal, writing, "My time in high school and college more than 30 years ago has been ridiculously distorted," and addressing what some have called his disqualifying temperament last Thursday. "I know that my tone was sharp and I said a few things I should not have said." Kavanaugh's op-ed coming at the end of a tense day in Washington. More than 300 protesters arrested as senators took turns combing through the FBI report on the sex assault allegations against Kavanaugh. With only 9 witnesses interviewed, Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford not among them, Democrats are calling the investigation a sham.
Democrats agreed that the investigation's scope should be limited. We do not agree that the White House should tie the FBI's hands.
Republicans, including key undecideds Jeff Flake and Susan Collins, say they're satisfied.
We've seen no incredible corroboration, no new corroboration at all.
Another holdout, Republican Lisa Murkowski, still undecided, but President Trump appearing confident at a rally in Minnesota.
Their rage-fueled resistance is starting to backfire at a level that nobody has ever seen before.
In another op-ed, a group of Yale grads who described themselves as Kavanaugh's college drinking buddies said no one should be able to lie their way onto the Supreme Court. The next procedural vote is set for later this morning. Emily Rao, ABC News, Washington.
4:38 got this breaking news we want to get to you here. 2 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize. That announcement was made just minutes ago. The prize goes to a man and woman for their efforts to end the use of sexual violence as a weapon of war. Dennis McKeag is a Congolese gynecologist. Nadia Murad is a human rights activist from Iraq. Neither winner was present in Norway at the announcement. That's pretty standard, though. But in this case, the Nobel Committee wasn't even able to reach them by phone to let them know that they are the winners.
It's daylight hours where they are, so hopefully they'll find out soon.
Probably find out on Facebook, like we find out everything else these days. But congratulations to them on that Nobel Peace Prize at 4:39. While they're in traffic, hello.
Hi.
It's good to see you here, Kristen. And boy, not a great day for either of you, especially on a morning like
But
this.
we're wearing nice bright colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to kind of, elevate the mood because we do have cloudy skies around the area. We do have rain moving in, but what will elevate the mood of many will be Friday night high school football, because we do start with our featured game for this half hour. It is the LaPorte Slicers at Michigan City. The Wolves, yeah, I put an extra C. That's what happens when you get 2 hours of sleep. Yeah, we'll get that out of there. Golly, there it is. I do know how to spell, I promise you. But here's the thing. This is a kickoff at 8 o'clock this evening, and temperatures are going to be rising most likely, and rain will move in late in that game. Meanwhile, this evening, technically 7 o'clock this evening, a flash flood watch is going to be going in effect, and it stays in effect into tomorrow afternoon. Let's take a peek what's going on out there right now. Here in the city, we do not have any rain. However, out to the west, we are seeing some rain. Some of it is very heavy across LaSalle County. This is continuing to move to the east and northeast. So if you're in Aurora, it's coming to you probably closer to 5 o'clock this morning. In Morris, coming there in about 15 minutes or so. So that, as we track it, this is not a severe weather event. And in fact, there was some lightning spotted out toward LaSalle, but now even that has waned. So no storms out there for us in the Chicago area, but it's a good heavy rain. Our futurecast this morning tends to keep the bulk of rain west and south of Chicago until we get toward about 6:30, 7 o'clock this morning. So there you see it. And then we have many dry hours later morning during the afternoon. But as we get into the evening hours this evening, probably a couple isolated showers developing here as we get into the middle part of the evening. I know there are many high school homecoming games this evening, so definitely an evening to make sure somebody there in the stadiums have downloaded that ABC7 AccuWeather app to stay on top of any wet weather activity. And then it looks as though we are going to have rain and storms into tomorrow morning. Right now at O'Hare, it's 57. Wind is out of the east-southeast at 9, 52 Wonder Lake, 56 in Deerfield, 56 degrees right now in Lyle. So this is what we are watching around the area this morning. So kind of rainy here early. This afternoon, mostly cloudy. But we are going to have periods of rain here, especially tonight and into at least half of tomorrow. Kristen.
All right, Tracy, you mentioned that rain. We're watching it as we lay it on the radar right now. Out west, I-88 slow. Just keeping an eye on it. No accidents there to talk about as of yet. But of course, if that's your commute, just slow it down. Certainly those speeds. As far as instances, we've got some traffic alerts to talk about. LaGrange Park, we've got a rollover crash causing some problems. LaGrange Road between Brewster and Homestead. Keeping an eye on that. Not cleared. I'll let you know when that happens. Before we get to those travel times, let's pull up the Dan Ryan. A quick peek outside showing the inbound traffic flowing just fine. We're looking okay, and your travel time's pretty base at this point as far as the Ryan. Here's the Kennedy at 19, O'Hare to downtown, 23 for the flip commute. Slightly slow, ongoing work, a reason for that. And like I said, 95th to downtown still at base, so maybe a little bit slower on the outbound, just a minute downtown to 95th. Finally, another travel time for you, Bishop Ford, clocking in at 20 minutes, 57 northbound though, at 15. Tanya and Terrell.
Thank you, Kristen. Time now is 4:42, and up next, the agreement reached that shows the nation's attitude toward marijuana is really changing.
And it is a Halloween tradition. The change in venue for Chicago's Arts in the Dark celebration. What's going on? What's new? Right after this.
Here's today's Wisconsin fall color conditions. For the full fall color report, visit travelwisconsin.com.
Watch Judy, Sue, and Rob Elvis on ABC7 Eyewitness News at 4. Discover amazing deals on top name brand mattresses at the Art Van Pure Sleep Columbus Day sale. Save an extra 20% off the sale price, plus no interest for up to 72 months. Or get a free power base with any king or queen starting at $6.99. And get free delivery. Get the lowest price ever on Serta iComfort. Save up to $900 plus a free 50-inch TV. Serta, Sealy, and King Coil just $297. The Columbus Day sale at Art Van Pure Sleep. Shop now in store or at artvan.com.
More than 1 million Hoosiers have a pre-existing medical condition: cancer, heart disease, diabetes. Some in Congress want to let insurance companies deny medical coverage, making healthcare unaffordable. My opponent will vote to let them do that. I'll fight in the Senate to protect people struggling with an illness. In Indiana, we don't turn our backs on people with cancer or heart disease just to line the pockets of insurance companies. That's not who we are. I'm Joe Donnelly, and I approve this message.
Remember your first bike? No, your first real bike. So can you imagine the feeling you'll get your first real truck. The GMC Sierra. Step up to GMC with nearly $11,200 total value in the specially equipped GMC Sierra SLT when you finance through GM Financial. When severe thunderstorms hit, count on Chicago's most accurate radar. Live Doppler 7 Max. Maximum power to punch through storms and give you the most accurate forecast. Count on Live Doppler 7 Max. Only on ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Luxury furniture 40 to 80% off? There goes the Maybles. The Dump Luxury Furniture Outlet. Grand opening Friday in Deerfield and Lombard. No fancy displays or salesmen. 12 acres of designer closeouts and samples. High-end stores now fear you'll find 40 to 70% off their sale prices. Grand opening, free financing, and free tax. The off-price outlet for luxury furniture, mattresses, and Persian rugs. 4 days. Grand opening. To the dump, to the dump, to the dump, dump, dump. Live from Chicago, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 4:30 continues.
Police cited more than 50 people at this protest yesterday in Chicago, and Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky was among those cited for trespassing on private property outside McDonald's corporate headquarters. People with the Fight for 15 movement are fighting for higher wages and union rights for fast food workers. Workers at just 4 Chicago hotels remain on strike this morning. Workers for the Holiday Inn Mart Plaza and 3 Hyatt hotels are all going back to work. Employees of 26 hotels hit the picket line 1 month ago.
446 Trunk is changing its name and will revert to Tribune Publishing Company. The company rebranded itself Trunk, short for Tribune Online Content, back in 2016 to highlight its digital publishing efforts, but the name became the subject of jokes all across social media. Trunk owns papers across the U.S., including the Chicago Tribune, the New York Daily News, and the Baltimore Sun. Medical marijuana could soon be legal in conservative Utah. The Mormon Church has joined the governor of Utah, lawmakers and advocates, to back a deal that would legalize medical marijuana. The agreement in such a conservative state shows how the nation's attitude is changing toward marijuana. Medical marijuana is now legal in more than 30 states, including right here in Illinois.
Surprising to see that in Utah.
Yeah.
State Street will be decked out with ghosts and ghouls for Halloween. That's because the Arts in the Dark parade is moving to the famed Great Street. The parade, which used to run on Columbus, will now be on State Street from Lake to Van Buren. There will also be family-friendly events afterwards at Maggie Daly Park. Arts in the Dark will take place October 20th.
Nice, be fun.
Always something to look forward to. The lineup is set for a party 200 years in the making. Hamilton star Miguel Cervantes will perform a musical rendition of the Gettysburg Address during the Illinois Bicentennial Birthday Party. REO Speedwagon will also take the stage at the UC. The celebration is December 3rd. Love REO.
A lot of good stuff coming up. 447 weather and traffic Friday morning. Tracy, we got some rain coming up.
Yeah, nothing like a little keep on loving you, but we're not loving what's coming in this morning. Live Doppler 7 Max does show this rain. Light rain right now toward DeKalb, but boy, you get down toward Earlville, back through Northville, Ottawa, you are seeing some of that rain that is definitely heavier. As we track this for you, you can see some of the heavier stuff coming into Sandwich and Morris very soon, within the next 15 to 20 minutes. So our future cast this morning, here's 5 o'clock this morning, you can see the bulk of the rain this morning west and south of Chicago getting in toward the city as we get closer to about 6:30, 7 o'clock this morning. Then after that, we have many, many dry hours. It looks like, however, this evening that rain is going to be coming back. Temperatures right now in the 50s, 57 degrees Oak Lawn, 57 right now in Des Plaines. So temperatures today will be up into the 60s. Look for more rain here tonight, Kristen.
So we have some incidents that happened overnight and early this morning impacting the roadways. Also some slow pockets because of road work. Let's get to the road work first. Haven't mentioned this here. Outbound Kennedy and Nagel to Cumberland. 2 left lanes remain out of commission. Cumberland on-ramp closed as well, showing that red there. Just very slow traffic leading up to that. We also have that instance in LaGrange Park. Just spoke with police there. They have a rollover crash still blocking LaGrange Road right at Homestead. LaGrange Road between Brewster and Homestead. Avoid that area. I will get you your travel times very soon. Tanya Terrell.
Thank you, Kristen. 4:49 and still ahead. The Blackhawks season gets off to a winning start. How they were able to pull off a win in OT.
If you're Lady Gaga and you've got the most anticipated movie of the season, where do you go first thing in the morning?
Robin, Michael George, I love you.
This morning, Lady Gaga, Michael Strahan, the interview everyone will be talking about. Only on Good Morning America.
My Gotham dual power reclining sofa with dual power headrests is only $7.99. Or my dual power reclining console love seat with dual power headrests, hidden storage, and cup holders, also $7.99. For game time, family time, or do nothing but recline time.
Bob's Discount Furniture.
I love it when someone really listens. Like my CertaPro painters. They listened and answered all my questions about painting my home. Worked around my crazy schedule, provided expert service, and kept me informed with daily updates. I am so happy with CertaPro and my beautifully painted home. I'm having them paint my office too.
Coco, sit.
CertaPro painters. We do painting. You do life. Get a free home estimate at CertaPro.com.
I'm Sean Caston, and I approve this message. I'll stand up to Donald Trump. I'll expand health care coverage, defend Social Security and Medicare, and protect people with pre-existing conditions.
Peter Roskam supported Donald Trump's plan to kick 30,000 people in our district off health insurance. And Trump would charge women and older Americans as much as 5 times more for health care. Trump and Roskam added $2 trillion to the deficit, threatening cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Roskam and Trump together 94% of the time, hurting Illinois families.
With Bob's, you get my Avenue living room your way every single day. Sofa and love seat only $9.99 for both pieces, or sofa and chaise only $9.99 for the pair. Without Bob's, you get
Bob's Discount Furniture.
United Auto Insurance.
Cancer doesn't discriminate. It can strike any of us at any time. But instead of helping us get the care we need, Peter Roskam voted to help insurance companies profit off of us even more. Roskam took nearly $370,000 from big insurance and voted to let them gut protections for pre-existing conditions like cancer and charge older Americans and women more. When we need him most, we just can't trust Peter Roskam. DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Good morning, everyone. Opening night in Ottawa. Hawks team under all kinds of pressure to be the Hawks again, facing a Sens team obviously not expected to do much either. Stan Mikita's number 21 on the sweater of Cam Ward in goal. They'll wear it all year long. First period, Alex DeBrincat skates right up ice, just lets it rip right through Craig Anderson. It's 1-0. Later, tied at 1, Jonathan Toews with a breakaway on the boards comes out and in. Anderson gives up another softie. 2-1 Hawks. In the third, Senators up 3-2. Patrick Kane behind the net. Out to Brent Seabrook, who jumps into the play. We are knotted at 3. That forces overtime. 30 seconds in. Toews ahead to Kane alone. And, of course, Patrick's going to win it as the Hawks pull it out 4-3. As for the Bulls, hey, they just started the preseason, so you're not going to blow them off already, right? Well, I don't know. Zach LaVine in the middle there trying to bike off the thigh bruise he suffered in that blowout loss.